welcome back to the GLAC studio. This is Gomati Sivasankaran. We are in class 4 of the Vijaya Lakshmi painting, one of the 8 forms of Lakshmi avatars that we are working on. And this Lakshmi goddesses that we are celebrating while we are learning to paint together um, are are the dimensions of positive propensities of life, such as good health and wealth and happiness and such. So this is the Lakshmi that we are working on. Is Vijaya Lakshmi. Vijaya refers to success. Yeah. So this is it's an amazing project that you have opted to work with. So I wish you all the success as well in this. What we have done so far in this canvas is that we started out with this well-known image of Vijaya Lakshmi, but then we had to give a twist, isn't it? So we have chosen a girl's face here. To work with, and we did the planning in our first lesson. The second class was really about bringing that plan into execution on a canvas. We used grids to do that, and then that plan and execution had to be refined further, and that we could do only when we had some colors on it, and that was really the layer 2 on the canvas, or which is also called blocking or filling. We did that, and we kind of know how this is going to evolve. Good. But now this image is totally flat. It doesn't have any dimensions, any aspects that are bringing it forward. Yeah, it's just a flat image. How do we convert that flat image into something that is perceivably good for the eye, yeah, acceptable for the eye. So how do we do that? And that exactly is what we are going to cover in the upcoming sessions. We start with the layer 3 now, and that is the layer that's going to give that dimension, start showing us the direction into some dimension. And the way I would call it is dark versus light. So where is dark, where is light in this image? And that's exactly what we are going to do. To start with, we will work on the face and hands. That's the skin tone of the girl. When we do that, we will also be doing a little bit of detailing. So this is also where you will see a slight bit of detailing kicking in, and more. So there is this dark versus light and detailing. You will see that slowly I'm going to introduce detailing here in this layer 3, and then it will keep on progressing. The ratio of work that we do on detailing will slightly increase, because covering the canvas is really going to come to a kind of end with this layer, when we done with this layer. So let's begin with this layer. To work on the skin tone, we will mix the skin tone first, and this time we will have two different variations of skin tones to show the dark versus light. And for that, we will definitely need the help of the picture. How is she looking like? Yes. So there is this, the skin tone that we will work on. We will try to bring that in. There is some darkness also. Where is that? So do you see the eye sockets, the spaces, close to her eyebrows, the cheek bone area where she's smiling, the curve, and all these things under her chin, cheek, and such. So there are, and also in the forehead, you can see some spaces that are slightly darker than the other. So all these things we need to define, and for that we are going to need two different variations of colors. Let's bring that in first by mixing. We'll start mixing the base colors, yellow ochre and vermilion first, to have the base colors ready, and then let's see how to bring that color tonality that is close to her skin tone. So let's start with that. There are other methods also to bring in these colors. I have learned from other professionals. They use definitely vibrant color tonalities to mix and bring skin tonalities. I have found this, option of using vermilion and yellow ochre first, and then adding lemon yellow or permanent yellow wherever needed, depending upon the background of the skin tone, which country is this coming from, and so on. And then using titanium white to kind of mellow down the color wherever needed. This, I must tell you, this is something that a lot of people do, but not necessarily that's the only thing. So you can opt for other methods. This I found kind of easy to follow, and measure and compare how things go. So I have added these two colors equally. Equal proportions I've taken, so it's really on the darker side of the skin tone here. And I want a lighter variation of this. I'm going to take a little bit of it here. I need titanium white, which I already have here. I'm going to mix and see where things go with this. Okay, that's the light skin tone I have built. Let me see if that works well with this kind of her kind of color. I have used round brush number 3 for this. Mixing. This is one more level lighter, I can say. So I'm going to add a bit more of titanium white to this. It is coming close. I would say 80% close. And that's where I also make a stop, because I know that there will be a few more layers that I will work on, and I will try to refine things around. So this forms a good base color for me to work with. And I want the darker color to be in this zone. I want a little bit of burnt umber to be added, because it's not like this. Definitely not like this. Yeah? I want to add burnt umber and have some darker zone ready. I'll do that in a short while. I think I will use this lighter skin tone first to fill in. So this is the easier way to work. So it's exactly what we did in the previous, layer. We filled in. So let's just quickly fill in this color in all the spaces of her face and body where the skin is visible. That makes life slightly easier here. It's just a matter of filling in. Fill in. Just filling that in. And I was just thinking the face, I wanted it to be slightly one stop bigger, because it feels totally tiny here. I just want her to be slightly, um, one step bigger, at least in my picture, to manage the proportion over here in the overall image, the overall um, structure of the body here, and also not necessarily the structure of the body, but also the canvas itself needs a slight bit of bigger face, it looks like. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm filling in all these spaces, not even thinking about where the fingers are and such. I'm just going and filling in them. Here I also felt the arm could be slightly thicker here. So I'm just adjusting things and moving around. Filling in. Okay, I think I have managed to fill in the spaces with this color. So it's all monocolor already, and covering the area of skin wherever needed. Yes, done. And right now, I actually need the help of the dark color tone to work out the way it's going to look like, and then I want to blend in. So usually I like to blend in. For example, I want to show, just for the sake of understanding, the way I blend in another color tone is also to take the other color tone and work, let's say in the neck. I want to make it slightly shady, so I'm mixing it like this. So I usually do it like that. But in this case, what I'm going to do, because I'm also having to adjust a little bit on the face, I want to see how things look like, and I really want the darker color tone ready in my palette. So I'm going to take this in another brush, zero brush, and I'm going to I need burnt umber. If I do not have it available, I'm going to take it. Burnt umber, and I'm mixing this with this color, so it is on the darker side. It's on the darker side, and that's the right color that I wanted to have. Yeah, for the variation. Yes, so I've got this ready, and I also need ivory black for certain areas to show some depth. So I'm just keeping it ready. Good. So I have brush number 1 flat. I will use this, and I will also use a zero brush. Round 1. Good. So I've got a zero brush also to work with. So I'm going to start with a zero brush first, and I will take a little bit of titanium white, tiny bit of that, and I don't want it to be totally white as well. So if the skin color, the lighter skin color mixes a little bit, that's also fine. Yeah. I have some titanium white ready. Okay, so I have a tiny bit of the titanium white, and I'm deliberately mixing the skin color also, so it doesn't look totally whitey white. And I'm going to use that for the eye, in the spaces where the eye is showing the white in the eye. And this eye is where I wanted to adjust things, because I wanted this to go slightly bigger. So I've done the white, and I'm going to use that also for the spacing of the teeth. So filled in these two sections, ready for a slightly darker section or more darker section rather. Adding the ivory black, a tiny bit of ivory black to burnt umber, so I get the darkest of that tone. And that is good for my iris and pupil, so I'm going to do that. Yes, good. Slightly closer to me here. Everything looks really flat still, but we are going to build onto this. So I'm using the same color, the darkest in tonality, the darkest of the tonality, to build the details of the eye, the upper eye line. Where does it end? The way it ends, the bottom eye line, and such. Yes. So tiny bit, and remove excess from the brush. If you're using a micro brush or a brush like what I'm doing, this zero brush, it gets muddled in all these colors so soon. So clear that off to work on it. Yeah. And then also do the eyelids, the line that is showing the eyelid. Shade it. So use the zero brush to shade it through, blend it to the skin color that you have added. So that's going to darken that space. At the same time, give another shadowy structure there. Underneath the eye, there is this slight little eye line. And then the eyebrows. Okay, so let's do the eyebrows. Yeah. So take it one step at a time, and we will get there. So that's the eyebrows. I'm doing the other eyebrow. Fair enough. I'm blending in this color a tiny bit to show that angle of the nose that is coming in. Yeah. And then the nostrils. Yes. So we've got the nostrils fixed. The angles of the nose. Yeah. And the way the cheek, bulges with her smile. So there is at least in my case, I can tell there is some adjustment that I'll have to make here to the way the lip lines are built. So I'm just going to use the skin color again to go ahead and fill it in here a little more. And then I can work on it. Yeah. So I'm going back to the zero brush with the burnt umber mixed with ivory black to do the lip line one more time here. So though the lip is showing like a light, pinky color for the girl, I'm going to do it with this burnt umber. The best part of this color is that, it'll form an awesome base. Burnt umber and ivory black will form an awesome base when we work further into that, layers, you will see that. Yes, I think we have got that. So her eyeline is done, the nose is kind of done, the lip line is fixed. Now I'll have to use the same technique to work on her ears. Yeah. Right. And then the cheek as such. Okay, before I get on, I'll have to do one more thing here. Just a moment. The cheek. Yeah, I'm doing that. Drawing those contours now. Building that structure. And I'm also blending in that darker color in the areas where there is a need to show dark versus light and such. So I'm doing that. The one more thing that we need to remember is that the places where we are adding these darker structures, we need to also start blending them in ever so lightly. You see? So it's blended in. Yeah. So ever so lightly we start blending them in. Then they start giving more of an impression. And I'm going to do one more thing. The other brush, the brush number 1 that I had with the burnt umber mixed with the skin color, I'm going to use that to do the spacing for the hair. Because that's also one thing. And remember, there's baby hair in her forehead that I'm not doing deliberately, because that's something we do once we are done with the skin tone fully in terms of the layers that we are doing, and then we can work on that. So I'm going to just build in on her hair. And do you now see that the face is coming out a little more brightly because of the hair structure that we have built? That is one kind of dark here. It is helping us to refine the structure further. So I'm just adding some more darker patches to this. I want to add a bit more of the skin tone here and blend in. So I'm adding some skin tones around and I'm going to blend them in to show you how these go. Yeah, you see that I have added them. Going back to the brush that I used, that was brush number 3 round, for the skin color, to blend this color in those places where there is shadow. So very, very light movement. And actually you can also add a little bit of titanium white in places. Titanium white really mellows down totally the color. So be careful, don't take too much of it, then it becomes another tonality that it really nullifies that beauty of the color that you have made. So do not thrive on that all the time. Take a minute bit of it to add some highlights wherever you want to show that cheek. Let's say I'm doing the cheekbone and such, I'm doing that. the chin, yeah, all these things I do. Otherwise, I will have to just leave it the way it is and move on to the other brush to do the shading. Good. I think this kind of works now with the shading. I need to sharpen the cheek and chin bone. Yeah, just gonna do that. That is kind of it, and she is looking good. That was the detail that we did for the face. I'm just gonna take a look if I have missed anything. Kiss the eye. Tiny bit of that. Yes. All good here. I'm ready to move on to the other space that of the skin tone, that is the hands. So now we start working on each and every hand. We talked about the hand also in the previous lessons, that each hand is holding something to tell us the importance of all these tools, meaning all the effort that we need to make with our hands to achieve the success. Yeah? So, isn't that what she's symbolically trying to tell? So, we are going to do that, and I am using the image of Lakshmi, and I'm going to use my zero brush to take burnt umber and the skin tone that we mixed, the darker skin tone that we created, to do the contours again. For each and every finger, I'll work on the contour, so that way I am just making sure that I cover all the important contours of every finger. Remember, draw every single fingers contour first, and then you can shade or you can blend the shade in later. So I'm just going to draw this first to show you how things look. You see that it's the lines that are coming up. So that's how things are looking. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the picture. That's the other hand here. The thumb first. I fold that, the fold of the thumb I take care of, and then the finger that is on the top, holding on to the chakra or the elements, each of the elements in each of the hands, and then the other folded fingers coming in. Then flowing through the contours of the arm. Good. Fantastic. So we did 2 hands of the 8. Let's work on the other hands as well. This one is the easiest because it's got the shield. Let's do that. So just do the contours of it. The next one. It looks more thinner, so I'm just going to make it thicker as well here. Wherever I can see the challenge that it isn't right, I'm also trying to fix simultaneously. filling in the skin color here, and then I did the contour again. So now I go for the thumb again. There is a top finger, and then there are three other fingers folded. Yeah. Created that impression. So I'm now going to focus on the next hand, that is giving. Success is also about giving. How thoughtful. Yes. So drawing the contours also gives us the opportunity to fix things around if we have missed something or the proportions aren't, appropriate and such. And this is definitely a work in progress. We keep on fixing this until such time that we feel that it is, justifiable. The shapes that we have done are justifiable, and so on. Yeah. I feel that I have made a mistake here. I'm going to do a little more with this hand. So I think I have managed all four fingers here on this hand. Yeah. So it's all looking like the contours are deliberately drawn. Um, we will fix them in a short while. I want to start with the contours of this arm and its hand first. Do the thumb. And then work your way towards the fingers. This is the hand that is blessing us. Good. All right, I guess we have managed this hand as well. Then comes the hand that is really hidden here, but has got the sword. So I will just ever so lightly place the fingers that are holding the sword. And then the last but not the least, the one that is holding the hand, holding the lotus flower. So let's do that. And that hand actually is hidden behind this structure of the sword. Okay. So now we have the contours defined nicely. What can we do? Blend in that contour to help us build in dark versus light. And where all we can do, we will try to do that. So right now, I'm going to take the skin color and start blending in this. Let's do the arm first. Is it helping? In the sections where I am blending these two contours, I'm blending them. Is it kind of helping because the lines that we drew now are blending in. And now you see that I'm not working on the fingers yet. That's a slightly tricky play. It's just like the way the eyes, all these nuances of eyes and lips that we did, subtly blending in. And I used, if you noticed, what I used was the zero brush to blend in that. So I'm using brush number 3 round now to blend in all those obvious sections that are slightly, a bigger space to play around with. That is the arms as such. And very soon I'm going to switch to um, the zero brush. But before that, because I have blended in too much of it, it could have become darker totally. So I'm just lightening it up with the skin tone that we mixed in the first place that we put to fill in, to show some light, throw some light into that sections that I've really dampened now. And we go back to using the zero brush now to work on blending of the finger contours ever so lightly. Blend them in, and when it gets totally dark, remember to use lighter tonality, skin tonality, of course. So I'm going to take, for example, here, show some light here on the hand. I'll blend that in like that. So I'll use it sporadically wherever needed to show the light in the fingers. Otherwise, I will just blend them in ever so lightly. This blending thing is going to happen even in the um, next level of layers. So try as much as possible to do things in this layer. If not, of course, we will fix that even further in the upcoming layers. Huh? So we'll have opportunity to work on this again. I sometimes, if I need, I add a bit of titanium white, very tiny bit of titanium white to lighten up certain things that aren't, showing clearly. Mm-hmm. Gonna do the same thing in the other fingers too. Yes, I have managed here. I need some lighter tonalities because I have really darkened in some places. So, but I guess this is it with respect to the face and body dimensions. You see that as compared to where we started in the previous layer, when we ended the previous layer, this one seems to have given a slight bit of understanding of where is light and where is dark. Yeah, so this is how we will grow this painting even further, giving more enhancements into the lighting and darking, and also doing some bit of detailing. So that's what we will do in our upcoming sessions as well. So the more and more we do this along with the layer, you get a balance of understanding of where things are with respect to dark versus light, and also able to create more of a believable or realistic image of what we are trying to do. The next lesson will be continuation of this layer 3 on the sections that we haven't touched. That is the dress that she is wearing, the jewelry, and all the equipment that she's got, the lotus flower, and the entire background as such is what we are going to work on the upcoming layer. Until such time that we meet in the next session, stay blessed, stay happy, stay healthy, stay motivated, so we can do our best for this layer in the next session. Continue this in the next session. See you. Bye bye.